This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to the 5-Minute History Podcast from 5minutehistory.com, where we take a historical look at things in about 5 minutes. If you enjoy the show and would like to support us, please consider buying us a coffee. Head on over to 5minutehistory.com/coffee to see how. This is episode 82, The History of IndyCar. IndyCar is fast, really fast. But its story isn't just about speed, it's about invention, rivalry, passion, and one of the most iconic racetracks in the world. It's a uniquely American motorsport with deep roots and a drama-filled journey that still shapes what fans see today. The story begins in the early 1900s, back when cars looked like bathtubs on wheels and helmets were more wishful thinking than protection. In 1909, a group of businessmen built the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. It was massive, it was exciting, and it was dangerous. In fact, the original surface was so bad that it caused cars to crash and tires to shred. So, the owners decided to pave it with over 3 million bricks. That's how the track got its famous nickname, the Brickyard. Even today, a single strip of those bricks remains at the start-finish line, and drivers still kiss it after winning the Indy 500. That race, the Indianapolis 500, made its debut in 1911. From the start, it was brutal. 200 laps, 500 miles. It tested every piece of the car and every bit of the driver's nerve. Over the years, it became not just a race, but a national tradition. Winning at Indy meant something, and still does. For much of the early 20th century, American open-wheel racing was run by the AAA, the American Automobile Association. Yes, the same organization that provides roadside assistance today. But after a deadly crash at Le Mans in 1955, AAA pulled out of motorsport. In its place came the United States Auto Club, or USAC. They took over sanctioning the big races, including the Indy 500. By the 1970s, though, teams were growing frustrated. They felt the USAC was stuck in the past. There were concerns over safety, promotion, and a general lack of modern thinking. So, in 1979, a group of top team owners broke away and formed their own organization, Championship Auto Racing Teams, or CART. CART brought fresh energy. Big sponsors came in, television coverage improved, the driver roster went global. There were races on street circuits, road courses, and ovals. The competition was exciting, the cars were fast, and American open-wheel racing had momentum. But not everyone was happy. The folks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway were losing influence over the direction of the sport. So, in 1996, Tony George, president of the Speedway, launched a new series to take back control. It was called the Indy Racing League, or IRL. The Indy 500 would now only be part of the IRL calendar. Kart teams weren't invited. That split created one of the messiest rivalries in racing history. Kart kept most of the top teams and drivers. The IRL kept the Indy 500. Fans were confused. Sponsors had to choose sides. Television ratings dropped. While Formula One grew its global audience, American open-wheel racing was eating itself alive. The split dragged on for over a decade. Kart eventually collapsed and rebranded as Champ Car, but it never fully recovered. In 2008, both sides finally agreed to reunify. The modern IndyCar series was born from that truce. Since then, IndyCar has worked hard to rebuild. The series combines a mix of oval tracks, permanent road courses, and city street circuits. One weekend might be a high-speed oval in Texas, the next a tight street course in Long Beach or Toronto. That variety is part of what makes IndyCar so exciting. Drivers have to be versatile. Winning a championship means mastering different styles of racing, not just one. To help level the playing field and keep costs down, IndyCar introduced a standard chassis in 2012 called the Dallara DW12. It was named after Dan Weldon, a popular driver who was killed in a crash the year before. The car prioritized safety and competition, and it's still the base platform used today. Another big safety innovation arrived in 2020, the Aeroscreen, which is a reinforced cockpit shield that helps protect drivers from flying debris and frontal impacts. It was a major step forward, and it proved its worth in its very first season when it likely saved multiple drivers from serious injury in high-speed crashes, including a dramatic incident at Iowa where a car went airborne and struck another directly in the cockpit area. Despite all these changes, the Indy 500 remains the centerpiece. It's still the one race that every driver wants to win. Speeds now push well over 230 miles per hour. The pressure is intense. Strategy, teamwork, timing, it all must be perfect. A single mistake on lap 199 can ruin a perfect day. The list of winners at Indianapolis reads like a racing hall of fame. A.J. Foyt, Rick Mears, Al Unser, and Helio Castroneves have all won it 4 times. Castroneves joined that elite club in 2021 in a dramatic drive that had the crowd on its feet and reminded everyone why this race still matters. The championship season, though, is more than just Indy. In 2025, the championship consisted of 17 races, with drivers earning points toward the title. And what makes IndyCar different from some other series is how close the field is. The cars are similar. The talent pool is deep. On any given day, almost anyone can win. That's one of the reasons IndyCar has such loyal fans. There's no script, no dominant team year after year, just great racing, tight finishes, and surprises from green flag to checkered. Today's grid features a mix of veteran champions like Scott Dixon and Will Power, and rising stars like Alex Palou, Pato O'Ward, and Colton Herta. The series also continues to attract international talent while maintaining strong ties to its American roots. Looking ahead, IndyCar is preparing to introduce hybrid technology, continuing its push for relevance and sustainability without losing the purity of the racing. It's also expanding its digital reach, growing its fan base through streaming, social media, and more interactive coverage. IndyCar's path has been far from smooth. It's had great highs, deep splits, and plenty of bumps along the way. But through it all, the heart of the sport has remained the same: incredible speed, driver bravery, and one of the most iconic races in the world. From the early days of the Brickyard to today's 240-mile-per-hour duels, IndyCar has always delivered a unique kind of racing. It's bold, it's unpredictable, and it's still very much alive. Thanks for listening to the 5-Minute History podcast from 5minutehistory.com. If you enjoy the show and would like to support us, please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. If you would like to support us more directly, then please consider buying us a coffee. Head on over to 5minutehistory.com/coffee to see how. You may also be interested in our other 5-minute podcasts, which you can find at 5minuteproductions.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.